Hey everybody, and welcome back. Welcome to Business Bricks, Stories and Tips with Pam. Guess what, guys? Today is episode 5, and check it out. We are talking about picking the best entity. Pick the best entity, or Uncle Sam or somebody else is going to try and pick your pockets. Check it out. Our business brick, catch it. Build your house. It comes from the greatest book of wisdom in the world, the Bible. Mark chapter 12, verse 17, and it says, "And Jesus, Yeshua, said unto them, Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. And they marveled at him." Guys, that is so simple. You have to pay to play in the world of business. Some people try to get out of paying taxes, and guys, granted, we do have some conspiracy theories. I even myself have been guilty and have been called a conspiracy theorist sometime. But the longer I've done business and the longer I've been in business, I begin to understand how the system kind of works, right? Granted, people pay taxes and stuff because they want to have nice roads to drive in. They don't want to live like people live in third world countries. And mind you, I used to be in the military, and I've traveled to some of these third world countries like Turkey and stuff, and a lot of these places overseas, and they don't have nice pretty streets and stoplights and stuff. You can Google some of this stuff. This would be an absolute nightmare if America, we didn't have nice pretty paved streets and schools and public transportation for those of you guys that use it. Guys, so our taxes do go to paying for these things, and although it's funneled to other stuff or not used appropriately, whatever, still the fact remains we still live in the best country in the world, and we have a lot of privileges that most places don't have. So guys, you want to pick the best entity for your business, because for one, it's going to set you up structurally, and it's going to, well, depending on what entity you choose, it will kind of dictate how you pay taxes and how much you can lower your tax liability. You have a lot of different entities, whether sole proprietor. Guys, if you just stay away from sole proprietorships, especially if you're going to be bringing in employees. If you're going to be bringing in employees, you need to have some other type of structure other than sole proprietor. I just personally totally stay away from it altogether. LLC, limited liability corporations, that's like a pass-through entity. You file a separate return, but the taxes pass through to your personal return, so you file an informational return for a LLC, and everything else is calculated on your personal return. Then you have S Corps, which is also a pass-through entity, where you're filing a return, and you kind of, it just kind of, I don't want to do a bunch of tax talk and you look at me like a deer in headlights, but it allows you to do different things. And in corporations, sometimes, depending on what type of business it is, you kind of like double tax, so let me share a story with you, right? So with me and my husband, we have a furniture installation company. They build modular furniture systems and stuff, and I handle like the administrative work and everything for our company and our employees and some of the stuff we deal with. And back a few years ago, when business really started picking up, we getting like huge checks, so our tax liability kind of like went up, and although I was doing taxes, I wasn't really well versed in corporate tax returns, so instead of just shelling out, cutting checks to the IRS and everything for money that we may not have to pay out, I just decided not to send them in until I could actually go over and make sure our tax liability was as low as possible, so we paid them the least amount legally possible and put that money back into the company or something, where we're just not just giving the IRS all the money, right? So I don't think we paid them, 1 quarter, 2 quarter. It was a couple quarters, and you know what happened? We got a nice little knock at the door. Really, when does the IRS show up at your door? when you owe chunks of money. And thank God we're honest, right? The money was in the bank. So they come, two ladies came to the door and everything, and we invited them in after me trying to stall and trying not to let them in the house and stuff like that, hearing, different kind of things from real conspiracy theorists, online and everything. Oh, don't let the IRS in your house and this and this and that. I'm like, oh, then I started thinking about, I was like, well, we ain't really got nothing to hide. So I invited him in. You know what my husband did? He went right out the back door. Seriously, he left me there with them. I'm like, you are funny. So I talked to him and everything. And thank God I had actually the day before, God is my witness, I called the CPA. I was like, you know what, I'm done trying to mess with this, trying to figure this out on my own for the corporate tax. We just gonna let the professionals handle this, and we're just going to pay them to do it, So thank God we did that, and we had given them our stuff, and the money was in the bank, So they told us that, I don't think she believed us. For one, I think because we were young and we were black, not getting into race, but they were black too, and the neighborhood we were staying in, I ain't gonna say it was the ghetto, but it was the ghetto. I mean, not really the ghetto, but it was still like ghetto, but not ghetto, where it's like locking doors and hearing gunshots and stuff like that. But I think they had the mind frame coming into that neighborhood that ain't nowhere in the world this young black couple can be living over here making this much money in their company and not spending it and blowing it on stuff. We were spending and blowing money on stuff, but we had enough business sense not to spend that money that was going to the IRS. So that money, thousands of dollars, was sitting in the bank. And so they didn't believe me. When I told them, I said, that money, everything, every penny is accounted for, sitting in the account. And if they weren't on duty, they would probably be like, she lying. So what I politely did, I pulled up the accounts online and I printed out the current balance and everything over in the payroll and tax account. And I said, you don't believe me? The money is there. And they said, I said, and we actually contacted the CPA yesterday, so I gave them the number. You called them and verified it. And, they called and verified, and their whole attitude changed towards us. And now they're calling us Mr. and Mrs. Murphy, although my husband had ran out the back door, because he was thinking we was going to go to jail or something like that because they showed up at the door. I mean, really, who sends the IRS to your front door? I mean, you hear about this, like, the white collar workers and stuff. We stand in the ghetto running a business. I mean, a legal, legit business. Ain't got nothing to do with drugs or anything like that. We just kind of lived here at this point, building stuff up. But thank God for growth and, being able to move to better neighborhoods to take care of our family. But we started in that little apartment. We actually, our first year in that little apartment, we did about $95,000 in our business. That next year, we did a little over $150,000 in that business, and that was it. And that next year, we actually moved out, and we grossed even more than that. So they was looking at us like, okay, they got a little business sense going on. I'm a business major, but guys, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. I'm going to make sure I hit my little points and I ain't kind of really talk all out. Oh, yeah. So, and the thing was with that, and I say, make sure you choose the best entity for your business, because it's going to set you up for taxes. And if I totally would recommend that you get a tax accountant or a tax preparer or a CPA or somebody that can actually help you structure your business appropriately, depending on what you're doing and how much money you're bringing in and how you can legally shelter funds and stuff, so you're not getting hit over the head. And plus, people, they find out your company is making money and stuff. Not only will Uncle Sam come for his cut, but people are going to try some foolish things, even employees and stuff, thinking they can get workers' comp, so make sure you got workers' comp too, for those of you guys that actually have employees, especially if they're doing physical jobs where they could literally get hurt, so guys, but make sure in your business you're picking the best entity. Even if you have an online business, you can still be a LLC. I would totally stay away from partnerships, unless you do some major research in that, but those don't tend to work out too well, you know. But yes, pick the best entity and get set up appropriately from the beginning, guys. It's just going to save you a lot of heartache and pain and late nights of worrying and stress. You know, I got a patch of gray hair right here in the middle of my head, you know, from business and crazy things and thinking, oh my God, they're going to pick us up and go to jail. I'm pregnant. I can't be in jail pregnant, you know. So guys, just use a little bit of wisdom and use the resources out there. Don't try to cut corners and be a jackleg, bootleg business owner, guys. Do business and do business well and do it excellent, and always be above board in everything you do. You know, if you make a mistake, be quick to repent, apologize to whoever you need to apologize to, make amends quickly. Otherwise, they may take you to court and take every single dime you got. You know, thank God, you know, that hasn't happened to us, and I pray that it never happens to us. You know, so guys, that's pretty much it today. Thanks for joining in for episode 5 today of Business Bricks Stories and Tips with Pam. Guys, make sure you like the fan page or social media, wherever you see us at. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. Guys, remember, a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman plucks it down, tears it down with her own hands. And don't forget to visit the blog as soon as you can for some more interesting, fun stuff at IamPamelaMurphy.com. Guys, see you in the next video.